Hello and welcome. This is Evelyn Brink here from brinkcoaching.com. This video is for you if you want to increase the impact that you're having in your leadership using the camera. I'm going to dissect Boris Johnson's lockdown speech to show you some of the things that he did really well when it comes to video presentation. Now think of him what you want in real life. I'm definitely not a fan, but he did some things really well with the camera and his speech, and I want you to have the advantage of understanding what they are so that you can apply them to your business. So let's crack on.
Good evening. The coronavirus is the biggest threat this country has faced for decades, and this country is not alone. All over the world, we're seeing the devastating impact of this invisible killer. And so tonight, I want to update you on the latest steps we're taking to fight the disease and what you can do to help.
Now that is what I call a beautiful introduction. We have gravitas in the voice, but also calm. It's a very grounded voice. And we're being given an overview so we understand exactly what to expect from the speech in the next coming minutes.
And I want to begin by reminding you why the UK has been taking the approach that we have.
And straight into the why. We all want to know why. Why is this happening? What's going on? Why is a very clever way to get us all hooked in and really pay attention. So let's have a look at the setting. Is Boris Johnson standing up delivering this speech in a formal way? No, he is sitting down. He's sitting down at a desk in order to level himself with us, the viewer. Is he in a closed wall environment? He is in a big room. The doors are open towards the back, giving us the impression of a spaciousness. Space, exactly, the freedom of space is what's being taken away from us, but at the same time it's an invitation to stay at home. Notice that beautiful sofa in the background. A powerful message about staying at home. So the feel is quite homely, it's quite warm, it's not as official as it could be. It's not like a white wall panel behind him. There is really an opening here. Think about the background in your videos. How can you use background to communicate your message and your brand for you without words?
We've been asking people to stay at home during this pandemic. And though huge numbers are complying, and I thank you all, the time has now come for us all to do more.
Did you see what he just did with his hands there? Using his fists to show us this is tense and important. And then he's bringing his hands together when he's asking us all to do more. This is a very clever way of using body language to emphasize what you're saying.
Will only be allowed to leave their home for the following very limited purposes. Shopping for basic necessities as infrequently as possible. One form of exercise a day, for example, a run, walk or cycle, alone or with members of your household. Any medical need to provide care or to help a vulnerable person, and travelling to and from work, but only where this is absolutely necessary and cannot be done from home. That's all. These are the only reasons you should leave your home. You should not be meeting friends. If your friends ask you to meet, you should say no. You should not be meeting.
We are being given a list of instructions of what we're not to do, and then he takes away the next step, which is this peer pressure idea. Well, what if my friends ask me? By saying, well, if your friends ask you, you should say no, shifting the responsibility back onto the individual. Clever. This is leadership gold because he shifts the responsibility back onto the individual. How can your language shift responsibility and power to your client?
To ensure compliance with the government's instruction to stay at home, we will immediately close all shops selling non-essential goods, including clothing and electronic stores, and other premises, including libraries, playgrounds and outdoor gyms and places of worship.
Getting people to do what you want really isn't easy. Every leader and parent knows that. Boris Johnson is approaching this not from the top down, but if anything, quite equalitarian or a little bit from the bottom up. Notice how his head will move forward and he'll look slightly up. So that gives us the impression that he isn't talking down on us, he's looking slightly up. Because he is a figure of authority, in this circumstance, and it works with his personality style, this was a good idea and a clever move.
To their businesses and to their jobs. And that's why
this is a beautiful example of nudge theory. Rather than giving instructions and enforcing them from the top down weeks ago, Boris has waited and stayed behind the curve. So now that he's given these instructions, there's a gathering of forces that can say, finally, okay, and everyone is sort of ready for this now, rather than hitting hard against this. For your own leadership style, could there be something in it for you? Is there something that you could implement also through your messaging, that you help people find what they want and serve to that need, rather than telling them what they should be doing from the get-go? Worth considering.
With 7,500 former clinicians now coming back to the service. With the time you buy by simply staying at home, we are increasing our stocks of equipment. We are accelerating our search for treatments. We're pioneering work on a vaccine. And we are buying millions of testing kits that will enable us to turn the tide on this invisible killer.
Essentially, we've just been told we're prisoners in our own home. So now is the time for hope and empowerment, so that we feel we made that choice and we know why. Very clever to use this right now. So in your messaging, make sure that when you are giving strong leadership, you follow it up by an empowerment that helps your clients or team members see where you're coming from and why you're doing what you're doing. And it makes all the difference.
To protect our NHS and to save many, many thousands of lives. And I know
Section is then followed by gratitude, followed by a vision. We can all beat this together to bring it to a strong close.
And we will come through it stronger than ever. We will beat the coronavirus, and we will beat it together. And therefore, I urge you, at this moment of national emergency, to stay at home, protect our NHS, and save lives. Thank you.
Can you see how the combination of great background, use of voice, use of body language to emphasize what you want to say, creating a context, answering the questions of why, taking your viewer on a journey that makes sense, choosing a leadership style deliberately, good breathing, simple messaging, using the language deliberately, really helps increase the impact of the presentation. If you'd like to know more, if you feel it would be valuable to understand how to implement this for your business, then just contact me. Let's have a chat, because it is really crucial right now to be seen, heard, felt, and understood, well, on screen.